Oh, damn. These sound pretty good. This is going to be controversial and brave, but I'm going to tell you right now, the AirPods 3s sound better than the AirPods Pro. What a time. Watch this, though. Incredibly satisfying. I did that like 16 times just to get it right for this video. Let's dive into the AirPods 3. I'm telling you right now, I'm switching from these AirPods Pros to these babies right here. Let's find out why. They're cheaper, and I'm a cheap piece of shit. That's why I'm switching. No, that's not the reason. The AirPods 3s are the latest update to the regular AirPods. Like, not Pros, not AirPods Max. I'm not even gonna compare these to the AirPods Max. I just don't think that's a fair comparison at all. But what's most interesting about these new third generation AirPods is I feel like they are the closest iteration to what we've wanted from AirPods, which is an in-between the regular AirPods second gen and the AirPods Pros. I'm personally someone that went with the AirPods Pros because I just thought they would be better. I wanted to try out active noise cancellation. I figured the silicone tips would make for better sound. And, you know, honestly, they've been fine. I've had a lot of issues with my AirPods Pros. I've gone through 3 pairs just from the right AirPod starting to crackle. I'm fairly confident Apple knows this is an issue, given that they have exchanged these things 3 times now out of warranty. So there's something internally going on with that model that says, hey, I don't think they really got these right out of the gate. And it feels like the AirPods 3 are a better iteration of AirPods Pros minus active noise cancellation. And what I mean by that is it feels like they took all the best parts of the AirPods Pros in a little bit more simple and oddly more refined package. I think this is a more universally capable fit system too. Honestly, I find the AirPods 3 silicone tips incredibly uncomfortable. You always have this odd clogged feeling, even if you have noise cancellation on or off. The silicone tips themselves just give you this sort of underwater feeling that I'm not a big fan of. Whereas with the AirPods 3, they're not only comfortable, but they also sound incredible. And we'll talk specifically about sound quality soon. Let's talk about some of the extra features that they've added to the AirPods 3 over the second generation. So we have a new case that looks very similar to the AirPods Pro case. This case also supports wireless charging along with MagSafe. I don't even have a MagSafe charger. I've just not really gone down the MagSafe route, but it's nice that they have wireless charging, which we had in the previous generation if you got the wireless charging case. Now it just looks more similar to the AirPods Pro case. It's just a tiny bit smaller and a little bit more compact, but for all intents and purposes, consider it the AirPods Pro case. We're also getting sweat and water resistance with these now, so if you're someone that likes to work out with your AirPods and you were worried about moisture, honestly, I used to have second-gen AirPods that I gave to a family member. I never really had issues with even light rain, moisture. I'm not a necessarily non-sweaty person. I probably consider myself a sweaty person in general, and I never had an issue with them, but it's nice just to have that peace of mind that you're getting water resistance and sweat resistance with the third gens, if that's something you care about. Probably one of the more standout features that a lot of people were waiting for that was reserved for the Pro models like the AirPods Max and the AirPods Pros was spatial audio. Now in my AirPods Max review, I talked a little bit about how spatial audio is a bit of a gimmick, and it's one of those things that I know you have FOMO and you want to try it, but take my word for it, once you do try it, I really don't think it's that big of a game changer. And on top of that, even with Apple Music's update for lossless and Dolby Atmos, I think songs in general sound worse in their Atmos mix. And even with the AirPods Pros and AirPods Max, I personally leave spatial audio off. It's cool to try and test it out. And honestly, I find it more interesting when you're watching videos, and particularly on Apple TV, where it starts to simulate a home theater system. With the AirPods 3s, it's not as cool as AirPods Max. It's pretty much on par with how it sounds on the AirPods Pros, but it's a cool gimmick and it's something kind of fun to play with if you really want to try that home theater experience. There's a new UI now for the AirPods 3s too that allows you to do head tracking on or head tracking off for spatial audio. But mostly I just think spatial audio is a bit of a gimmick for music and even for movies. Now let's talk about the most important aspect of any headphones, and that's sound quality. These things sound awesome. I was not expecting anything out of these AirPods. Oh, damn. These sound pretty good. So one of the interesting things I'm finding is I'm only at like 50% volume on this, and I find when I'm using the AirPods Pro without noise canceling on, I'm always cranking that thing just to hear something. So whatever these new drivers are actually making quite a bit of a difference. So I put these things in, started playing some music, and holy shit, these things sound awesome. The bass is very well controlled compared to the Pros. I find on the Pros, bass is a little bit too heavy. I think a lot of that has to do with the silicone tips. And on top of that, I don't think they sound great unless you have active noise canceling on. And for me, active noise canceling adds to that whole cloudy underwater feeling that I'm just not personally a fan of. I'd rather have good, clear audio rather than blocking out noise. And it feels like you're sacrificing the sound quality with the AirPods Pros, where it's like with the AirPods 3, these things are just fully unleashed. Apple has said they put in their own new custom driver with adaptive EQ, and it's working. Whatever they've done to these is a massive improvement from any previous Apple earbud style headphones that I've ever used. And on top of that, like I said, I think they sound way better than the Pros. The best way I can kind of describe it is if you have AirPods Pros, they sound similar to when active noise canceling is on with the Pros, but more crisp and more clear. There's less muddiness, there's less cloudiness. It just has a vibrance that is lacking with the Pros. Speaking of sound quality, the way I've been testing all of this is using MusicBed's app, and this is going to be a segue into a sponsor. Actually, a pretty good segue at that, if you ask me. So unless you're new to the channel, you know that I use MusicBed for literally every project that I do, whether it's for client work or it's for YouTube. I think they have one of the best libraries of music available for creators right now. And my favorite thing about MusicBed is that the music doesn't sound like stock music, which is why I can test headphones using the MusicBed app. And while I'm listening to things and saying, hey, this is a great song, I really like it, I can save this song later and know that I can use it for a project, which is invaluable. Vibe. One of my favorite artists on MusicBed is Makeup and Vanity Set. I use his music in almost every video. I've even become friends with him on the internet because I love his work so much, and I could not have made that relationship or found that vibe of music to match my content without MusicBed. So sign up for MusicBed at the link in the description, and if you use the code word I'm Patrick T, you will get your first month free when you purchase an annual subscription. I know battery life is very important for a lot of people with AirPods. Look, I've never really run into a situation with AirPods Pros or AirPods Max where I've run out of battery, particularly with the AirPods Pros because you have the charging case. And that's the case with the AirPods 3. Apple's saying you're gonna get about 6 hours of listening time without using the case. And if you add the case to it, it goes up to like 30 hours. In my testing, I was listening to them all throughout the B-roll that I was shooting of the MacBook Pro yesterday. And I would say about 5 hours before I got a low battery warning on them. But then I just popped them back in the case and they're back up to like 50% in less than 20 minutes. So you throw them in that case and you're pretty much good to go for a few days at least. But what I usually do is when I'm not using them, I just throw them on a wireless charger. So they're always basically fully charged. I've never run into an instance where I've listened to them too long that they actually die during a session. Okay, I think we need to spend a little bit more time specifically on active noise cancellation because I think this is going to be the major deciding factor for most people between the AirPods 3 and the AirPods Pros. Here's my take on noise cancellation. It's obviously super great if you work in a loud environment, and that includes things like working out at the gym, being on the subway, taking Ubers, all that kind of stuff where you are in loud environments. But there's a sacrifice. I think the audio quality drops and it's not as great as other headphones that don't have active noise cancellation. I think there's also better headphones on the market that offer active noise cancellation, whether it's Bose or even the AirPods Max. So if you really need active noise canceling for travel, for airplanes, I don't think the Pros are the answer for you. I think you should look elsewhere. But if active noise cancellation is not a big deal for you, yes, you have to increase the volume a little bit more than you would have to on the Pros, but the sound quality is just so much better that I'm okay letting in ambience. I'm okay with having the environment around me. I also don't want to get hit by a car like that. I like hearing where I am in a space. And it's not like you're getting sound leakage either. No one else is going to hear what you're listening to. I just think the sound quality of the 3s is so much better than the Pros that it outweighs the con of not having active noise cancellation. Factor in that the new AirPods are $179 versus $249 for the Pros. I think the significant cost savings with the improvement in sound quality is a no-brainer. If you're someone that was holding off from the AirPods Pros and you really want a new pair of AirPods, Apple has absolutely delivered with these. I have no issues with them other than I'm excited to hear what happens when they put these drivers and this EQ system in the next version of AirPods Pros. But look, we can do this with every tech product and wait year after year. Get the ones that you want now and the ones that you need now. Deal with that crap later when they update. You can decide then if you need those ones. But for now, I think AirPods are a product that you probably hang on to for 2 or 3 years. And these ones are a giant leap in sound quality, and they have all the extra features that you'd want from the Pros, like spatial audio, water resistance, the charging case, all that fun stuff. They're excellent. That's gonna wrap up this video. If you have any questions about the new AirPods, let me know in the comments. I don't really ever talk about my watch collection, but I thought it might be cool to recommend something that isn't a VHS tape or a music CD. So this is the Casio Marlin.
And a Casio.
What's interesting about this watch is they call it the Bill Gates watch. And the reason it's called the Bill Gates watch is because Bill Gates owns one of these. This is an extremely cheap watch. You can get them for like 30, 40 bucks on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description for it, but it is a beautiful watch. It honestly feels a lot like a Rolex Submariner. I put my own metal bracelet on it, which is also adding to that Rolex look. Quartz keeps time way better than any automatic. I've literally never changed the battery on this thing ever. So it looked like $1 million and feel like $1 billion like Bill Gates with the Casio Marlin. One of my favorite watches. Hope you guys like it. Otherwise, hey, it's another video. We'll see you real soon. Next time I feel like making a video. Cheers.